right, let's step into some headlines. Different news going about the Dylan Edwards has been going on a few weeks now. The conversations, is official. He's got that massive deal going into the Knights. His performance on the weekend, and your
Dylan
guys,
Brown.
Dylan Brown. Your guys' thoughts on what the Eels should do? Stick with him, finish out the season, see what they can make of it, or start blooding a new 5'8". Bobby, your thoughts first, huh?
Yeah, that's a tough one, bro. I think if you're a Parramatta back office or head office person, you want more from this guy because he's already sort of shown that he, it's similar to when Adam signed over to the Sharks from the Warriors, and well, similar for me, but he was still committed for that 1 year, and man, he played really well.
Yeah.
Prop of the year last year. Dylan Brown, for me, he gets the opportunity to show all of the naysayers up. Everyone's been sort of bagging him, and then he comes out with the performance that he had over the weekend, where it's like, this guy, even without Mitch Moses there, he looks like he doesn't want to take over or even control the game.
Yeah.
And that was his opportunity, to sort of
Own the
put his
team.
mark.
Yeah.
But, but not just that, to put his mark to say, this is what I can do for Para for being faithful to me, but also as an advertisement to the Knights, like, hey man, this is what your $1.3 million a year is going to get. Look at how awesome I am. But the man himself isn't chasing premierships. He didn't say that he was going over there to team up with Ponga or anyone else in the Knights to chase championships. He was talking about, oh man, it was an opportunity. Who's going to turn down $1.3 million? And I was like, this guy, at least he's keeping it real, he's chasing money. He ain't chasing premiership rings. So I don't know what the Knights can take from that. They've offered him this massive contract for 10 years. And then they hear him say something like, it was pretty much saying that I'm leaving for the money. It was like, is this guy going to come and get us a championship? So if I was Para, I'd probably offload him now. But then the Knights are like, do we really want him to come into our team when we're going great guns at the moment? He might come and be Fa'alianga Mea guy. I don't know if the dynamic will work properly with the current Newcastle team and the way it's going. Yeah, I think if he doesn't change his mindset and how it is he's playing, he's just going to be a liability for Para for the rest of the year. So I don't know. This is what the Knights have signed up for.
Nice horse.
Yeah.
So your view on Dylan Brown? You agree he's not living up to those expectations of the money?
Oh, if you're the that's always a hard one, bro, because as soon as you come in the news for signing a big fat contract like that, everyone aligns your performance with how much you get paid. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that, bro. I think what you get, what you earn, and your ability to command that kind of price and that, bro. Players are entitled to get as much as they can. It's a short. I always say it, bro. It's a short career. It's a very vulnerable career, bro. Fucking the system, bro. The big machine makes fucking trillions, bro. Players alone still get a small little piece of the pie, man. You know what I mean? It's very kind of NRL centric kind of business model way. You know what I mean? They don't really have the fucking ability to sell their own jerseys, man. But going off track, I just think for the rest of the year, bro, there's no one else, bro. You got Walkman. But Eels are kind of just suffering until really when Thing comes back.
Mr.
Moses. But I still think they're, what's his name? The coach's not going to do much this year, bro. You can't work miracles with this kind of an aging pack roster. They don't have much fresh legs, bro. They got Lane, who was good 5 years ago.
True. Just looking through that.
About the resurgence of our Samoan prop, brother Boboli, but I think with Bolo, he seems a bit trimmed down, but he's never really one of those
too skinny.
Fast. Yeah, he's more of a skillful prop. And he's never going to be one of your intimidator. I just think their packs is quite light on that, bro. And what's his name's past his best over Ngawi. No disrespect, but yeah.
Francis
On the other
Molo,
hand,
they could use a Francis Molo.
yeah, I just think Eels with that roster that it's not the best roster, but they're playing Gaia as well, bro. So they're probably the worst short odds for the Spooney. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, before I detract, it's interesting from the Knights, bro. And I know he's mean, but now you're paying him over $1,000. Over $1 million a year to be like a piece of the puzzle because he's not your domineering number 7, which these guys need, bro. Like he's more of a similar style to Ponga, but not as good. Someone who can a running game, but someone who can set people up as well. But he's not the number 7, and you always need an organizer. And I don't know if they got that this year yet or next year. So how's it going to work? To go.
Well, you look at the combination really... Flesh and Sharp and Ponga already have. That's going okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, well, why do you need another 5/8 if this one's going okay now?
And
paying
the Knights already have a very goodwill of trying to, but I like that idea between him and Ponga. There's going to be some fucking tries put on for any outside back. But he's still just a running 5'8", man, an overpaid one. but you're entitled to get what you can command.
Yeah,
man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why Lima saying Eels.
Nice, boys. Good views on that. Yeah, I agree both ways, and some of it, and it's hard because it's not Dylan Brown either. You think management, they would have been in his ear, and you kind of listen to some of the thick commentary people talk about, like with the money. The game every 10 years kind of jumps, so it's almost like ready for a jump. So it's almost these are the kind of things they're saying to people, like, it's a 10-year deal.
It's also like a move. The move's not, to me, the move's not automatically going to think, fuck, the Knights are short odd favourites to win the title
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
All of
the roster makes no confidence in that
risk,
roster.
Man.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
Exactly.
And I think fucking Dylan Brown's got the best end of the deal, bro. If it's guaranteed 10 years.
Well, you look at that kind of money. Who are you more confident in buying? The Sharks buying Fanua Blake for whatever they bought him for, or them buying Dylan Brown? Fanua Blake, hands down, makes so much more of a difference.
Fanua Blake has the ability to turn the Sharks into a premiership competitive team.
Yeah, and it's not a position, it's just getting what your team needs.
Yeah. Like that last piece of the puzzle, something like that. But I don't know. I just think that even with Ponga, it's still not a certainty that they got the right people to win it. I still think their pack's probably not elite, but they didn't. It's a funny one to me because they didn't have. They always score points. Knights of these teams have always got points in them, especially with Ponga. So that wasn't like a big thing that I thought. I thought they would have went out for someone like Mitchell Moses, like an elite 7, who can organise, and Ponga can just destroy it on the edges, bro.
Well, I think they did and missed, and that's why they've ended up with trying to go different angle.
Spend a lot of money on like a running 5'8", which they already got a fullback who acts like a running 5'8".
Yeah, the problem with Dylan Brown is he doesn't control games.
Yeah, he's not a natural 7.
His game management isn't up to par with any of those elite halfbacks in the comp. So, that kind of money being thrown at Dylan Brown, that says, he's on par with a Cleary. Or he's on par with even Mitch Moses, which he clearly isn't. The talk at Panthers when Luai was leaving was like, okay, he's going to try and, become the number 1 guy at the Tigers as halfback, and always in comparison to Cleary. With Brown, it's always been in comparison to Mitch Moses. But when you look at all the other halfbacks around the comp, man, there's no comparison. Like him stepping up for that amount of money, good on him, I say, for getting that across the line. But the Knights have sort of, I don't know, it reminds me of that time when they signed Tomalolo at the Cowboys for 10 years. At the time, he was probably the best forward running around in the NRL at the time. But there were heaps of people that could see past the first
5
3
years. Yeah.
years of their 10-year contract saying, this guy is going to be a battering ram. Yeah, he's effective now, but what's the toll going to be like in the first 3, 4, 5 years of this contract? And then the back end of
Yeah.
which he's in now, he's like super not the same Tomololo that signed in year one for $10 million. You know, and you look at Dylan Brown. I have a feeling Dylan Brown will be the same in year one as he will be in year 10 of this contract. So, you know, the Knights know what they're signing up for, but they also, I feel like I don't know, he's not going to change much. He's been at Para for a while now, and everyone's sort of seen his potential, and he reminds me a little bit of like Sean Johnson, just without the X factor.
And I think that's the thing. Like, I guess people, because of the price, it's like he's an elite 5'8". But don't bring him over as a half. He's a 5. Like, there's a thing. Like, you've paid him like half money, and so I guess that's the problem.
Is that what they want to do?
Everyone's looking at the money, and I think maybe. And so this is again, I'm saying like it's a problem because management are pushing this thing, going, well, 5'8s are just important. So everyone's going, well, the money's half that money. But if he's going for a 5'8", how are you going to afford a decent half? Because you don't have a different. So I guess that's the problem. But maybe they're looking at the future, like 3 years. That'll be nothing. That'll be normal for all the. It's like, mate, it's not helping anyone right now. Today is not helping the Eels. It's not helping the Knights. Not helping anyone. All right, I digress. Let's move on to other news. Gordon Chan Kum Tong. Had a guts full of the Warriors Manly game, and unfortunately grabbed one of the Warriors supporters. I don't know if you guys have been quite a bit of social media, so I saw the guy who actually got grabbed. So he was cool. He came out, he's been a Warriors fan for years. He said, look, he didn't expect it. He was just doing what every other fan. We were giving it to Jurbo as he came off. He was right at the front, Jurbo, Jurbo. But yeah, that's the same time the rest of the crowd, we all, nah. Yeah, so everyone's yelling at Jurbo. But I guess, Gordon just had enough and grabbed this guy. There's another guy who tried to tell him to chill out. But someone in the crowd caught her on social media, so he's had to answer for the incident. Bob, you were at the game. I don't know if you've seen any social media on this, but your thoughts on Gordon's actions?
Yeah, just young and dumb, to be honest. I was talking to my son about it, and I was thinking, did they not have like managers or something, or someone that sits with the team that are close by? And I mean, players need to expect that sort of stuff if they're visiting teams. And then if they're playing for the reserve grade and then after that game you're going to be sitting in the stands watching the top side, you need to know that if your team's getting fighted like that, you got to expect.
So where we sat, we ended up right on the halfway, right next to these guys. So the management were there right next to Morgs, and then must be the coaches, but it all happened so quick.
Well, usually close points.
Well, that's part of the context. I'm like,
you were part of the abuse.
This guy's had to, they've had to sit through a game of me the whole game. Because Raymond Vaenga was there, so he must have played reserves, but he was limping. So that contentious Saab try, I'm like looking over, you would have scored that. He's just like, there's this old man shouting at me. I'm not sure if he's teasing me or encouraging me.
But like you said, that guy who got videoed, he came out on social media, and then he even posted his own video of him. He wasn't even heckling. He was going exactly. He was doing Jurbo, thank you, Jurbo. Thanks, Jurbo.
Pretty much the whole crowd. But that's the thing. So I thought they're used to it. But after the game, Morgan's like, oh yeah, they were saying they enjoy it. Like they don't get this back at home. I'm like, yes, like I've seen Manly fans. But I was like, maybe not.
They sure no comment was directed at Gordon
on the sidelines. Nah. Everyone was just going at Jurbo. Yeah.
Of him trying to stand up for Jurbo.
Oh, I think it's just accumulation of the
fan, the
crowd,
he might everyone. Some fucking abuse, some racial abuse. I know what that.
Everyone
like,
was there, mate. Everyone was just giving Jurbo.
That's why the guy posted up the video.
That smart can be feral, and you don't let him fight Gordon. He's over here visiting. He's getting racial abuse, some vile abuse from these disgusting fans. It's like, bro, we don't know the real stories, but you know what? I love it, bro. I love the reaction. you talk shit to professional players, then you should be able to get some payback, bro. Or you know, like a little bit of don't argue in front of your face. I mean, bro didn't get injured, bro.
Well, I wonder what Gordon did.
He got
Hey,
his likes.
don't film
He
him.
got his likes on his fucking video. He got his 15 minutes.
Don't shout at my captain. Don't shout at my captain.
If you're willing, and you know what, power to you, bro, because you bought the ticket. Do whatever you want. Just don't make it abusive. But if you're gonna dish it, bro, expect it back, bro. You're on around these reserve players. They're already eager. They're not fucking starting. And now they're rested. And now Galafaya Jurbo, who's the spiritual leader of this manly team, he stood up for him, bro. So yeah,
there's accumulation. See, there's accumulation of all of that. Then he has to stare at Jazz Tevanga like, fuck, I should be out there. Why the hell am I on the bench and this guy is mucking up the team?
You can't be
leading his former teammates.
This guy hooking up his mates with tries.
I don't know, bro. It's a bit harsh, but now I know the true. You guys are part of the abuse towards these visiting teams. It's disgusting. You know, this crowd behavior has got to improve, bro. Especially in that spot, bro. It's disgusting.
Right.
It's disgusting. What?
Just as bad in Manly, man. It's just as bad.
Visiting teams fans have to put up with, bro.
Well, Suncorp's the worst, bro.
Exactly.
Exactly. When we're losing, it's all the Islanders' fault. It's all the fucking Kiwis.
All these expat Kiwis.
These fucking around Kiwis. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
exactly. Bro. They're just Malangi Hori Warriors supporters, bro, and Broncos fellas.
Nah, but I'm glad that guy came out. You know, he didn't want, so I think he did go, around integrity unit. I think they did do some investigation. Yeah, well, because it came out on social media, you just to answer for it. So I think he ended up with a fine. But yeah, I guess for him too to learn. It is emotional, but he just can't. He can't do that.
Hey,
but yeah.
Before we move on, we mention, and this was meant to be one of my guy getting mentions, was poor Jurbo getting stupid ass interview from this Honey
Hirime-Smiler.
Who's Tragan as well. But anyway, that's not my point. She's just like come across as
in real life.
Ill-informed, unknowledgeable, fucking asking rugby league questions, talking about what happened when you got your yellow card and you're down the tunnel. What happened there? What happened there? Like, because everyone knows, that's when we were talking about this incident when Jurbo was getting abused and that. And his reaction was sticky. Well, that's the rules, mate. We have to go down the tunnel. No, you're not allowed to stay around. He just played it over straight back. But you could tell, she was trying to do those. She was trying to pick at a mate, trying to get a reaction.
Yeah, but bro, so I don't know if that was just
in rugby league.
Nah,
she's got to get back on Sky Sports and go with Nisbo and his team. She's in the wrong fit.
Because Honey's a dual international and she sometimes mixes it up. So she probably had finished commentating on the rugby union.
Yeah, she's both.
She's a black Ferns and a Kiwi Fern.
She's the funniest. Fuck it up with Jurbo, you can tell.
I like her though. Like you should listen to her because she's good with the Warriors game, but she gives a shit too. Like I can't stand her because she's straight up the nuts too. She's like, a lot of drop balls. Like the guys just aren't putting in enough effort. I was like, fuck off, honey. Yeah, she's good, but I to her credit, I think the only thing she got wrong, I think she was getting mixed up with Turbo. How he came off early, that's why she was asking, everything okay, what happened? But yeah, I think she got the characters mixed up. Nice, boys. Moving on, Brandon Smith signing with the Rabbits next year, though. So I don't know what the Roosters, I guess similar to the Dylan Brown, what do you do with Brandon Smith? Roosters coming off that good win. I'll go to you first, Si.
Solid, man. He's fucking lucky, man. It doesn't sound like there's too many teams out for him, his services, and it's a no-brainer that this has been a failed relationship with the Roosters. He did not turn out to be the person that they wanted him to be, and I'm sure less than 2 years out from the end of this contract, he wasn't looking at moving to another team. So I think it's a great move for him, especially with Wayne Bennett there. It's kind of resurrected his career, but I think we have to be realistic with the teams and the kind of money they're prepared to pay someone like him with his services, because I really think he's a really probably one on his day, the best impact player off a bench. You know what I mean? If you think about what his true best position is, and when I think about where I've seen him the best was when Cameron Smith was running around at 9. This was even before Harry Grant, and he was like giving Cameron Smith a little rest or playing as that small forward in the middle. I just don't think he's got like one, the speed, and two, the service to be a truly great 9, bro. And that's where it kind of breaks down. The Roosters are real, they got fucking real power game, so they just want someone off the deck, quick ball. I don't know why it worked out. He's a mean running 9. But if you want quick ball from your 9, I don't think he's that type of Aaron Smith delivery off the deck. But yeah, bro. I don't know, we were having fun with it, a couple of his vids, but I think that his off the field, how the way he carried himself, that's a bit of a I don't know, because he's got a pretty successful media thing with podcasts. But I just think as a business, you take a risk with someone like that. As one of your players in your roster, I don't know, but I just don't think he's not elite player anymore. I don't think he ever was as a 9, but definitely, man, we fucking want a good number 14 impact off the bench, cut up our forwards. But yeah, bro, I think you can add it to a lot to that team, the Bunnies for next year.
Bobby, your thoughts on Brendan?
Yeah, I don't think he's past his prime. He's only 28. I think, and that's
a lot younger than I thought.
Yeah, like he's probably coming into when a player is actually really
good. Prime right now, man.
He was just really good as a youngster. But you're right, like you touched on how he was really impact off the bench, but he was always of that thought that I need to be a starting 9. And to me, he should have just stuck with that role at Melbourne. But players always want to start. They don't want to be sort of typed up into, shoebox into this is me and that's all I can do. But then he had the opportunity to change that up when he went out to the Roosters, and it kind of never panned out that way. And I think all the off-field stuff didn't help with him. And then injuries also piled a lot of pressure for him to perform. And then when he came, he was seemed always rusty when he come back to the Roosters. And he couldn't find that spark, and it only sort of ever happened in spirits. But I've read stuff that Wayne Bennett talks about. Oh well, I wouldn't have asked the Rabbitohs management organisation to sign Brandon Smith if I thought the off-field issues were going to be a problem for him.
Yeah.
But he's also openly talked about how he can be versatile and using him in a utility role. He can play 30 and he can play on the edge. He can play hooker. Brandon Smith also has a relationship with Wayne Bennett from their time in the Kiwis.
Oh, nice.
So, I think Wayne will be able to bring the best out of the cheese when he goes over. It's just a matter of him clicking and finding those systems, because, the Rabbitohs have their own issues with some of their own players being quite outspoken or being quite heavily featured in the media, the Latrells of the world, the Cody Walkers of the world. They need a player that can go over there and really perform. And I think Brandon's probably going to fit right in at Souths, and they'll have a very potent-looking spine next year, especially the way that Jamie,
Humphries, yeah,
man. He's doing really good. So, it's a good move for everyone. Roosters are probably kapungi the book on that.
Bring the checkbook.
Let's try to get rid of him last year.
Yeah.
And also Bennett tried to sign him up when he was at the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
Before he had even transferred from Melbourne to the Roosters. So, Wayne's been interested in him for a while. And it looks like Brandon's the type of player that Wayne knows how to bring the best out of. He's quite confident in his abilities as a coach to take on Brandon Smith. So
he was actually quoted. He was actually quoted on his podcast when we were all discussing about where he might end up last week. he's like, oh, I don't know about if Wayne will have me back, because he admitted he said yes to Wayne.
The Dolphins when he backflipped there, that's right.
Yeah, to Dolphins before he signed with
That's
the
right.
Roosters. He actually agreed, verbally agreed to, and and until he got the tour, I think he got the grand tour and the helicopter and the fucking mansions and
Nick Politis took him out to dinner, gave him
yeah,
offer you can.
he had dinner with the coach, and that was it.
Nice, boys. A couple of other points. Anyone got the scoop here on the ex-Warriors? I just saw the headline. I was trying to guess who it was. It could be anyone.
It's alleged.
It could be
What's
anyone.
your name? The position? Allegedly.
Position or use or dealing.
I don't know, but are you alright? Why are you grabbing your whistle like that?
It's gone.
What's going on?
Last delivery, mate. Last delivery.
And you know what, bro? It's like, man, who cares? Hey, I mean, he's not even a player.
Ex-Warrior, leave him alone.
You know, it's
life after Warriors,
I know. I don't want to bring it up, but you know, kind of, man, who's reformed, man?
Yeah, he's helping the young boys now.
Is this are we just scratching the surface of like a culture of pride from the Warriors or what? Well, can you come in? This is a well-respected ex-Warrior legend who likes them out by allegedly, but
Eels from the Storm.
There's no culture of.
He retired as a Storm player.
Are we unveiling? What's going on there, bro? Are you concerned?
What I'm concerned for is that he's seen as a bit of a role model here for young players, but also in for young Māori. You know, he's involved in a lot of media stuff. He's involved in a lot of shows. He's seen as the funny guy, and so lots of young guys look up to him as an ex-Warriors player, ex-Melbourne Storm player. But also just with his ability, with his use of te reo Māori, all of that sort of stuff, it reflects poorly on the young Māori population sort of growing up, and they see their role models. This happens to them. Similarly, when it happened to Manu, you know, young island boys wanting to be like Manu Vatuve's of the world, and then he gets massive fall from grace, and it's oh, you don't really like role models, you know, get taken out like that. On the flip side, it's that is just plain dumb. Yeah, I don't know. I just shake my head at people who already are super successful in life, but then have these stupid on the side hustles going on that class A drugs, getting snapped for.
Don't get caught.
Supply.
What do you do today with your stuff? If you got pulled over, you put it up in your pocket, or I mean, you just called slipping, or do you have an issue that is on the lines? Because let's face it, bro. When you know these kind of jobs, like a professional, not even rugby league, but professional sports person, is right up there with lawyer, all these high kind of.
I guess with the network they roll in, the people
and they have the money and the resources too.
Or even because I guess he's in media, so I guess
so you look at it just your general stats as a look in society. You're always going to get players who use that stuff, bro. You know what I mean? It's whether you caught or not. It's doesn't make a difference to me. I know there's a lot of players, but it doesn't taint the whole team or culture of a club. I don't know. It's just these news will always come out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's unfortunate, especially because it's a former player. It's got nothing to do. It's just Manly news coming out of Sydney, probably just trying to bring the Warriors down.
But I heard that news for ages, and I was just wondering, waiting for it to come out. Who was the? See, that must have been
when your supplier goes, we can't get any more, man.
when Reece Walsh got caught when he came back to Brisbane with a bag on the coast. I think
Some
he learned those meals when he went to the Warriors.
Oh, there's
See
a
that?
Lockies.
he was a Broncos
He's trying
keeper,
to
mate.
show us
Yes,
Lockies'
Well
favorite
established.
tricks.
he was a good boy when he left the
He was
Bronx.
well established in the drug scene.
Exactly.
You don't want us to talk about the king of the drug scene over in Queensland.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy we resurrected his career and saved his life coming back.
Yes.
Honestly, I still don't think he's the one, man. He still doesn't have that maturity, bro. Like,
Not with -1 for his fantasy points. We'll
no,
come
that's
to
what I
that.
mean. Like, he's if you compare him to like they were talking in the Titans Doggies game when they were talking about there's lots of small fullbacks running around at the moment, but he's the best. They were giving the props to Keanu Kinney, and they were saying he's the best. And I was like, oh wow, Keanu, because there are a lot of small fullbacks running around, and Reece Walsh is one of them.
Yeah.
And Vicky's one of them. And I was like, wow, true. When I look at Keanu and Reece Walsh, they're very similar style of players, but as a Broncos fan, would you pick Reece Walsh over Keanu?
Different fullbacks, bro. Different fullbacks. I think at the moment on form, Keanu Kinney, probably in the last 12 months, probably the form fullback. But he's a runner, man. He's not on his day.
No look passes. Doesn't drop the
On
ball.
his day, Reece Walsh can do everything, bro. He can set up tries. He can score tries 1-on-1. He can run a game. He's got the kicking game to run a game with his boot. That's why I think he's like rare in that regard, that he's got a higher ceiling, but he doesn't nowhere near as
Just
as
those
consistent.
performances are rare as well. Just
Yeah,
as rare
I know.
as his high ceiling.